Jason, have you ever like worn out a controller?
Ooh, yes, maybe an old, I'm thinking like N64 controller, like the analog stick on an N64 where it gets like super loose.
Oh,
that's all I can think of though. I can't like, that's about I don't think I've ever done. I think the controller dies in situations more than I've worn it out. Like my old Xbox Elite controller.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I have worn down the rubber on an Xbox 360 regular controller, or maybe Xbox One controller, where like the sticks don't have the little grippiness of them anymore, but they're still very functional. But like that's the closest I've come to like, I think, wearing out a controller to the point where it's not as functional as it was. The reason I ask is because I think I'm wearing out the controller of my Steam Deck a little bit.
That's surprising to me.
Yeah, it is. Not too badly, but I did notice when I was playing Blueprints on my Steam Deck not too long ago that the right trigger, which you use to pull up the map in Blueprints, is making a weird noise. Like the spring is making a little bit of a noise. So I don't know what to do about that. Like it still works.
Is it ever? Yeah, I was gonna say, is it ever not triggering, or is it like the springiness broken, or is it just making a noise?
It's just making a little bit of a noise, and it's not like a bad noise. It's just like enough noise to be annoying. Like I don't know. It's like you can hear the spring like slipping or something. I don't know exactly how to describe it, but it doesn't do it on the other side.
I'm hesitant to give you this advice because I know how much you use your Steam Deck, and I know what a loss it would be if you didn't get it right. But they sell replacement triggers and instruction guides on how to replace the triggers.
iFixit has like the official parts.
I've heard it's not super difficult. Like it's very repairable.
Yeah, I mean, I think it would be, and I think that would be fine. I could get a Steam Deck right trigger button assembly for $20 from iFixit. But
I know how much you like doing those kinds of projects.
It does make me feel good when I do it right, but it does not make me feel good if I do it wrong.
I don't. Have you ever like truly broken something you've tried to repair?
No, although I did replace the battery in an old MacBook Pro that I had with one from iFixit, and it worked great for a few years because I was giving it to a family member, and it was like a 2015. It was an old MacBook Pro, and so its battery was dead, and so I switched the battery with one from iFixit, and it worked for a little while. But now it like barely turns on, and it's like there's a problem with this battery, and like it won't even stay on if it's plugged in. Which this is a button, so it's fine, whatever. But like I'm a little bit wary of like trying to do it in case it gets messed up. But this is not even the button. There's no soldering involved. This is just mechanically. I think the parts, like the plastic parts in the spring. So like it should be fine, but I don't know. I think I'm going to let it get a little worse.
I mean, because you've done some pretty impressive repairs before. I'm just thinking of that TV you repaired.
Oh, yeah. I took apart a 65-inch TV and replaced the capacitors. Yeah, we talked about that.
That was cool. I was impressed. I was also impressed with how you determined whether the fix worked or not. And that's a whole... Go listen to old... I don't even know what episode it was.
Yeah, that was fun.
I think you're qualified to change your trigger if you really wanted to.
Yeah, I'm looking at the back of my Steam Deck right now, and it just has regular Phillips screws. Like there's no shenanigans with the screwdrivers. So I don't know. Maybe we'll probably talk about it a little bit later. But I've also noticed, like, and maybe this is just me trying to justify to myself and or whatever. But the Steam Deck itself is actually not holding to 60 frames a second in Blueprints for some reason.
Oh.
Which is surprising to me because I think it used to, and now it's not. So I'm using this as like an excuse to think about next Steam Decks or ROG Allies or whatever.
Oh yeah, maybe a ROG Ally. So I was listening to a podcast the other day that I think they called it a Roger because ROG Ally is too hard to say.
Nice.
They're just like, yeah, it's a Roger. No, I think I mean, I really like my ROG Ally. I don't know. Part of me feels like 2026 is when we're going to see a Steam Deck 2. I don't know. That's just what I'm feeling.
Yeah, I mean, that's fine. Honestly, I'm going to keep this Steam Deck until it kind of falls apart or can't run the things I need it to run. But it is a little bit frustrating when I noticed it like frame dropping, because I'm like, how did it do that? Like, why? It's a low resolution screen. The game is not that demanding. It, I think, was running fine before. So I don't know.
Could it have been a change with the game? Like, did the game get an update? Like,
it could have been an update to the game, yeah. Or it could have been something. I could have been like getting further into the game makes it have to keep track of more stuff in memory or something. I don't know. I mean, there's lots of factors it could be, but I was surprised when it was getting only 55 or 52 or 48 frames per second in certain cases instead of a lock 60. So anyway, so Steam Deck, it's definitely getting use and getting put through its paces at my house, but I kind of want a new one. Welcome back to Pride and Accomplishment. I'm Chris.
And I'm Jason. This is episode 153.
We talked last time about the Switch 2 pre-order process and how I did get one from Walmart, but then I also put my name in the hat for the Nintendo first come, first serve list or whatever. And there's been a lot of drama over the past week, I would say, about that list because people started getting the emails from Nintendo like they were supposed to, but it seems like it's been going very slowly in terms of like who is getting these things and when.
Yeah, I'm not super surprised by that. I guess that, I don't know. Don't you have a long time once you get the email to place the order? Like, that just feels like it's going to take a long time if you give people time.
Right. You have 72 hours. You have 3 whole days from when they send you the email to actually make the decision and buy the thing. So that naturally kind of builds in a lag to the list. I just wonder in terms of like order of magnitude, how much they reserved for this program versus gave to the retailers. Yeah, I don't know. I'm not sure what the breakdown is. But I got an email from Nintendo on Thursday or Friday this past week that said regarding your Nintendo Switch 2 pre-order or something like that in the subject line. And I was like, oh, here it is. Here it comes. Like, I finally got this email. Good news. And then I opened up the email and it was like, oh, never mind. Just kidding. So they sent an email that was essentially a notification that you are still on the list. And that they're working through it, and it gave you a little bit of detail about like add this thing to your spam filter, and once you get the email, you have 72 hours and all that good stuff. But they basically said we can't give you any sort of other update or estimate other than to say you're on the list. So I did get that email. So apparently I am on Nintendo's list, but at the rate we're going, I'm not sure that the email is going to come before the Switch 2 comes out.
Yeah, I mean, I'm chill. I'm playing it chill. I'm patiently waiting for you to get an email.
Because did you put your name in the Nintendo hat?
No, I never even did it.
Oh my gosh! Wow.
I'm playing it chill. If I don't get one on launch day, I don't care. It's not a big deal.
You're definitely not going to get one on launch day at this rate, but also like ever.
Nah, whatever. I'll get one eventually.
Okay. Well, they've also put out a few things about the pre-order process. I think GameStop said that they were going to have more Switch 2s in store in person on June 5th. And also they're doing a midnight release, and they did this whole thing on, I think it was Twitter or X or whatever, where they sent out a tweet that was like, and we'll give 1 free can of Red Bull to the people waiting in line, which is like, okay, that's kind of fun. And then they deleted that tweet or whatever, or modified it and posted again to say, we'll give 1 free can of Red Bull to GameStop Power Up members or whatever, like to the paid premium members. So you have to have the little GameStop like subscription in order to get your 1 free can of Red Bull as you stand outside and wait for a Switch.
Yeah, I just don't think that's worth it.
No, I don't think so. I think that subscription's not that expensive, but anyway, it doesn't make enough sense to go get a free Red Bull.
No, I don't know.
You could also spend $3.50 and get a Red Bull. I'm
excited about the Switch 2. I'm excited about the new Mario Kart, but I am not excited enough to go stand in line at midnight on a Thursday. I'm not excited enough to I'm not trying. I'm just at this point, I'm just not stressing over it. I stayed up late one night trying to get a pre-order. I failed. No big deal. I'm staying chill. I'll get one eventually.
Your level of chill is amazing to me. I love it. Good job.
It's taking effort. It's taking effort to remain this chill. Because
okay.
I get excited. I want to be in the hype, right? Like I want to be a part of the hype. But it's not like I'm not stressing about not having one. I am trying to remain realistic about just saying like I don't need to be a part of this hype. Like I want to, but I don't need to be.
Yeah. Okay. Fair enough. Yeah. Well, good luck. To me, I guess, for you or whatever. Or maybe,
I'd
maybe
be thrilled. I'd be
up.
thrilled if you got the email.
Yeah. When I get it, I'll let you know. But so far, all I have is the teaser email from Nintendo.
Chris, I think we say it every, 6 months to a year. Maybe it's been a little longer this time, but I'm just here to remind everyone that this game called Fortnite that is like, is gaming at this point. I mean, there's like this. I think someone said it this way. I was listening to last week or the week before. Is like there's like the gaming industry, and then there's gaming, and gaming is defined as Fortnite, Minecraft, and Call of Duty,
and Roblox,
and Roblox. That's right. Oh, and then phone games, right? So there's phone games, there's gaming, which is those 4 games, and then there's the rest of the gaming industry. But I say that because who knew this game called Fortnite, still fun, still good, still worth playing, as long as, in my opinion, you're not playing build mode, because that's impossible to play.
Build mode requires too much practice, I guess I would say. Like, I think in order to succeed at build mode, you have to like know like intuitively all of the little key chords to make it like build a house around you or whatever instantaneously. Like, you just have to have that all muscle memoried, and I have no patience to learn whatever it is that makes that happen. And whenever I accidentally end up in build mode, I like take one shot at somebody, and then all of a sudden they're like inside a house and I can't hit them anymore, and they're shooting at me. Yeah,
there's definitely that skill ceiling where you can learn and get better and all. Whereas like I feel like Fortnite Zero Build is just like general strategy applies to it. Like, you can be good at it, you can be better at it, you can be better at a third person shooter than someone else, but it's the skills are much more transferable.
Yes,
like if you're good at a different third person shooter, you're good at this one. So I don't know, it's a great game, it's fun. The like everyone always like makes fun of all the skins and the cosmetics and all that, but you know what, it's stupid fun, and it's I don't know, it's really good to play for a little bit every now and then. And last week we talked about the Star Wars stuff going on. It's just, I don't know, it's just fun. It's just dumb fun. And I've been really enjoying playing this last couple of weeks. I did buy Fortnite Crew. I got the battle passes, and you know what? I don't regret that purchase at all.
If I thought that I was going to play Fortnite for any more than the 2 days that I think I played it in the last 2 weeks, I would consider Fortnite Crew, but I don't think I'm going to play it more than the 2 days I've played in the last 2 weeks. So it's not worth it for me. But I was present when Jason convinced not one, but 2 of our friends to buy the battle pass, the Fortnite Crew thing live on a Discord call on the same night.
Yeah, I need a creator code. I need commission.
Oh yeah, get the commissions. Yeah, get P&A, get a creator code.
Because I convinced a few people, but let me tell you why I convinced a few people. Because if you're just going to play Fortnite, probably not worth it if you're just going to play for a week or whatever. But all of the people I was talking to, including myself, have played or play Rocket League. I played Rocket League a few weekends ago with my brother, and you get the Rocket League battle pass with it. And I was just like, all right, well, now it's worth it. Like, because it crosses games, because it's just it's supposed to be a subscription, but I'm going to immediately cancel it. I'm only going to play for 1 month. As long as you pay for 1 month and then you don't pay for it again, I think it's totally worth it.
Yeah. If you manage it like that, I think that's fair. But my use case is not quite that good, because I'm not really playing Fortnite or Rocket League at this point. I'm pretty much only playing Blueprints. So until there's a Blueprints battle pass, I'm not interested.
Oh, don't give them any ideas. Jeez. I have not yet played a Sheets run.
Oh yeah, we forgot to do that. We gotta get on that. We gotta go on a Sheets run.
I had it pulled up, and then for some reason there was some kind of matchmaking error when I was trying to play it. So I have to do it again. We'll have to pull it up and try to do a Sheets run. The more and more I watch that trailer, the more and more I think it's just going to be really dumb. But it's fine. Whatever. It's free to try. It's just, again, Fortnite is just this dumb, fun game. So the one thing I will say, I was looking for one mode in Fortnite that I wish existed, and you're going to laugh at me because you bought or got gifted the original Fortnite, and that's about what I'm going to describe. But I wish there was some co-op wave defense something or other in Fortnite, because there's a Star Wars like thing going on right now, and I just wish there was like some kind of co-op experience for Star Wars within Fortnite.
You want like waves of stormtroopers and you like have to fight them off or something?
Sure, that'd be great. Like whatever. Like I don't know the specifics. I just wish there was some kind of co-op experience. And that's the one thing I think is missing from Fortnite. And they have all these custom game modes, right? People can build game modes and all of that, but I like looked through them and I didn't see anything that was co-op. I haven't tried the Lego stuff yet, and I know that, but that's like more open worldy. It's more like, a lot like Minecraft, but Legos. And I don't think that's what I'm interested in. I'm interested in like a zombies mode, but for Fortnite.
Yeah, I mean, you're right. I'm going to tell you that was originally what Fortnite was supposed to be, and that was what I was excited about with Fortnite. And then they completely dropped that once people liked the build mode and the Battle Royale stuff. But the build mode came from building your little base thing for the zombie defense part. And then they brought that over into Battle Royale, and then the rest is history. But yeah, well. Oh, well, that's the game I would like to play also. And that's actually the game I would rather play almost every time I'm playing Fortnite, because I'm not very good at the shooter part of Fortnite. I do like I think we've talked about this before. I like the exploration and the picking up of stuff and kind of the seeing the map and doing all that kind of meta stuff. But when it comes down to the battles with the people, that's not my favorite part. I mean, I don't hate it because it's not constant, but it's not my favorite part.
I enjoy it. I am finding that I and the people I play with consistently get into the top quarter or top 10% of the people playing pretty consistently, which makes for a decently, reasonably length game that you don't always win, but you win often enough to know that it's possible, but not so often that you become numb to it. So I don't know. It turns out pretty well. Anyway, I have until June 11th, I think, on my Fortnite crew, which means I get all of the battle passes. I get the Rocket League battle pass. I get all of that. I think $11.99 until June 11th. So I can. That's my plan, is to play as much Fortnite and Rocket League as I can for the next 2 weeks or so, and then I'll be done. And that's That's the season on 2 weeks. That's how long I play anyway.
Fair enough. Just take the money you would be spending on a WoW subscription and put it in Fortnite subscriptions, and you're good.
There you go. I can't remember if I had started playing Clair Obscur the last time we recorded.
Ah, okay. Yes, we talked about Clair Obscur and Elder Scrolls having come out, and I think you had played a little bit of it.
Man, okay. It's possible. The very first time I sat down to play Clair Obscur, I played the prologue, or essentially what's in every trailer, right? Is that time that you spend, there's really no spoiler here, like in the city, right? Before you set out on Expedition 33.
Okay.
And that it's like an hour long. It's the first hour of the game. You learn how to play and you get kind of the context for the story and all that. I am now near the end of Act 1. As far as I know, I think there are 3 acts. I'm trying not to look anything up, so I'm not super sure, but I think there's 3 acts. I am near the end of Act 1, and it just continues to deliver. It's so incredible, and I don't have much to say about it because I don't want to spoil anything, and I'm in awe of this game. I think I think I've said to you I don't like turn-based games before. Like, I just am not a fan of them. Mm-hmm. This doesn't feel like a turn-based game. It just doesn't feel that way. I don't know what is so good about the combat, but I'm really into it. I'm really enjoying it. And I heard a podcaster, I heard someone say on a podcast that I listened to, God, I can't remember. They're all blurring together now, but because everyone is talking about Clair Obscur, I think it was Triple Click, where someone said, I can't wait for the next cutscene and I can't wait for the next combat sequence. Like I just like, sometimes you play a game and you're like, okay, I got to get through this to get to the next cutscene because I'm really interested in the story. Or sometimes you skip the cutscenes because you're really into the combat. This game, every single thing, I'm like, I can't wait for the next thing. I can't wait for the next thing. I can't wait. Like, I can't wait for the next story beat. I also can't wait for the next like cool battle. I can't wait for the next type of enemy because like each one you're kind of learning something different in terms of the dodges and the parries and the everything about it so far has been excellent. I know that you don't have Game Pass anymore.
Correct.
Which means you would have to buy this game. So I don't want to tell you to go buy this game or to go get Game Pass just for this game. But I'm so happy it was on Game Pass. I'm so happy it was available. If anyone listening has access to this game, I would encourage you to at least play the prologue. It's 1 hour. It is essentially the story that is told in the trailer, but they tell it in such a way that they don't hold your hand and they just let you experience what's happening without like a bunch of monologuing and a bunch of like telling you exactly what's happening. And you're going to be confused. It's going to be a little bit of mystery. You're not going to understand everything that's happening, but they just let you experience it. And oh my God, the storytelling is so good. The dialogue is so good. It's so well written. I was listening to someone review this game and they were talking about the dialogue on like how characters will interrupt each other or talk over each other.
Oh yeah. Mm-hmm.
And I was like, bah, whatever. No big deal. Like, whatever. Like, how could that be so good? Right. Like, how could that matter so much?
Right. Yeah.
And then you experience it in the game and you're like, it's just mind blowing how realistic and how gripping and how emotional it is when you hear a conversation like that. And it's, oh God, it's so good. It's so good. This might be my game of the year. I haven't even finished it yet. I don't even know. Like, but I feel so intense. Like I feel so intensely when I play this game, both from a combat standpoint and from a story standpoint. I'm not saying it's not without its flaws. Definitely has its flaws, but I don't think they outweigh all of the good that I'm experiencing with this game. So that's my near the end of Act 1 review. I'm sure I will have more to say as I continue to play this game.
Yeah, I've heard very good things about the first 3/4 of the game. I think I've heard that it maybe doesn't quite stick the landing in the end, but that doesn't mean you shouldn't play it. And it sounds like from everything you're talking about that it's amazing. So I am intrigued, let's say. And if I end up with Game Pass again, I will definitely give it a shot. I forget, I think we talked about this, but you've played like Paper Mario and like the N64 or the GameCube Paper Mario and all that, like those turn-based Mario RPGs before?
I played Paper Mario a long time ago.
Okay.
And I remember, I mean, from what I remember beating it. So I played enough of it to, I think to beat it, but I barely remember it.
Okay. Gotcha. They, because I've heard a lot of comparisons of the turn-based style to that with the kind of little quick time, push the button to dodge or parry or whatever button, because you kind of do that in Paper Mario. Yeah,
and yes, I don't remember that at all in Paper Mario, I'll be honest. I will say that the thing that happens in this game, they're like quick time events, but they're not quick time events, and I say that because they're timings that are based on the attack that you're doing. So when you're attacking, you it's your turn. You take as much time as you need to decide what you want to do based on the circumstances and the status effects that are in play and whatever. But once you choose an attack, the quick time events for that attack are the same every time. Like they're the same rhythm every time.
Okay.
So the whole turn, like as you start to get into a rhythm of a character, you really start to, and like I'm going to do this the first turn and this the second turn. And there's like a very like set opening sometimes to certain characters, particularly when you've been playing them and you kind of have all their skills kind of aligned to say this is first, this is second, this is third. It obviously changes over time as you unlock more skills and things change, but like you get into a rhythm sometimes with some characters. And I would say it's not just I'm going to choose to do this attack first and this attack second and this attack third. It's not just a strategy rhythm. It's also a rhythm. Like, you know that I'm going to click A, I'm going to click A again, and it's going to do this attack, and then I'm going to wait, click, right? And then it's going to be my turn again, and I'm going to click A, I'm going to go down one skill, and I'm going to click A again, and that one's going to be click, wait, click, right? And you get into this rhythm with their attacks in terms of the timing, and that's been really good about the combat, because even though it's turn-based, it feels like a rhythm, real-time kind of sequence or dance.
Okay. Yeah. I remember from the trailers that they have the little order of turns with the people's pictures on the side. And that reminds me so much of Final Fantasy X, which I really enjoyed the turn-based combat style for. So I am looking forward to someday playing Clair Obscur. Highly
recommend. Can't wait for you to try it.
All right. I'll let you know.
I know you are the Blueprints Prince.
Yes, that's me. Hello.
In this 2-team podcast here, but I have played 3 days of Blueprints now.
Wow.
So I guess I now have a little bit of experience in Blueprints.
Does that make you like the Blue Baron, like the blue?
I don't know.
Blue Duke?
What's the next level down? No, I think I'm still a blue peasant, but that's all right.
Oh, okay, that's fine. Well, I'm glad that you've at least gotten 3 days. I'm sorry that Clair Obscur crowded out Blueprints for you, but I guess I'm glad you're happy with it. How did you like your 3 days of Blueprints?
I've had a lot of trouble technically with the game, crashing and all of that. So I've played the first day probably 6 times.
Oof, that sucks.
And it gives a little bit of a bad taste. So I'm honestly kind of trying to let it reset a little bit in my mind.
Okay.
But what I have played, I think I'm still before the hook. I think you maybe talked about it on the show, and you had at least told me in person, where it takes 5 to 10 days, somewhere in that range, to really hook you. I'm still prior to that hook. I'm not hooked yet. I don't feel it. I don't understand it. I'm not feeling the drive to do another run yet. But everyone I've talked to about it says it happens. It just happens between the 5 and 10 day mark.
Yes. Yeah, it does. Well, I hope that eventually you're able to kind of get back to it and give it another shot. But you're playing it through Game Pass, right?
I actually have it on both Game Pass and Steam.
Oh, nice. Good. Yeah, I was surprised when you were talking about having like technical issues, but it sounds like that's kind of a 50 series graphics card issue thing, maybe.
I don't think it's isolated to the 50 series. I've heard I've heard a lot of, like, at least what I'm seeing online is that it's a lot of hit and miss. Like, some people never see this at all. And surprisingly, a lot of people are having these crashing issues. It seems to happen more on the Game Pass version of the game. Obviously, they're probably very slightly different in some way. I'm having more luck with the Steam version of the game. I'm having less luck with the Xbox Game Pass version of the game. But yeah, it could have something to do with my drivers. It could have something to do potentially with G-Sync. I was having, I'm seeing some things in my error logs related to G-Sync. So I've disabled those things now, and I've had more luck, and I've been able to play 3 days.
Okay. Yeah, I've been still playing Blueprints. I am on day 110 now, because it keeps track for you. Obviously, I've rolled credits a while ago. I talked about that, but I am still kind of opening a few different puzzly secrets. I kind of have lost my kind of mystery seeking drive, and I'm much more like interested in a little more hand holding than I was in the first, before rolling credits, which I kind of talked about before, but like that's kind of keeping me interested. I think I am definitely following my prediction from last time, where I'm going to wind down on this game when the Switch 2 comes out, because then there'll be a lot of Mario Kart to play and other such things. And I probably won't take my Steam Deck with me for a little while. I'll take my Switch with me to travel. So that will put a little bit of a damper on the Blueprints experience. But until then, I'm kind of racing towards what I hope is the end of Blueprints, but I don't know how long it's going to take me to get there. Are
you still like learning new mysteries? And with if you can, without spoiling it, like, what are you learning? What are the mysteries about?
There's a lot of like family drama, I guess you would say, kind of, or like information about family members of the Baron that you're, inheriting this mansion from that you can dig into. And you get little pieces and parts of that along the way. I'm trying to think what else there is kind of, but there are a few things.
Functional changes to the game when you figure out certain mysteries, or is it just an informational game?
No, you can go different places and do some different things as you get further and further along.
Got it.
It's very cool. It's kind of like Ribbon or Myst a little bit in that like you can open up different ways to get places or like back doors to things and stuff like that. Like there are some pieces that are like that are really cool, how they kind of layer those into the game. Because originally you think like, oh, okay, this is just a loop, but like there are permanent pieces to it as well, permanent upgrades and stuff that change the whole environment a little bit.
Okay. All right. That sounds intriguing. And I know you're trying not to say too much to not spoil, but that sounds like it could, it definitely adds a layer to the game that doesn't exist at the beginning.
Correct. Yeah. At the beginning, that's why I'm saying like you have to get a little ways in. And I don't remember if it's between 5 and 10 or if it's between 5 and 15. I don't remember what the kind of the click in is, but there are definitely parts where you kind of start to get those things that are a little bit more, you start to realize that there are some things that can happen persistently across days that don't just reset when you reset the day, which is refreshing, I would say, and keeps it interesting. And also I get things like, oh, there's a thing I got to do, but in order to do that, I have to draft this certain room. And so then I have to like do a run or 2 or 3 to wait until I can kind of get that particular room that I'm looking for. So that's been what's keeping me going and what's kind of keeping me starting over a new day. But like, it is kind of amazing to me now that like I have so much freedom to kind of run around. Cause at first you're like, oh my gosh, 50 steps. There's no way I could do all this stuff in 50 steps because there's 45 rooms. But then like there's different things that help you to kind of get around that and different ways to kind of navigate and all that. It opens up a lot. And I'm trying really hard not to spoil anything.
Yeah. It almost sounds like this game runs better on the Steam Deck, but I feel like your pre-show may have me questioning that statement.
It runs. I mean, well, if it crashes for you, then I've never had it crash on the Steam Deck. So by that metric, it's infinitely better.
Okay. All right.
But I would say just this little thing where it started to do this frame drop thing lately. I don't know why. And it's kind of annoying that it has all of a sudden decided that it's not going to run at full 60. I'm wondering if it's something where I've got my resolutions a little bit screwed up. I have been playing a little bit with the Steam Deck put in the Steam Deck dock on my TV in my living room with an Xbox controller, which I think is still rendering at a relatively low resolution, but it is nice to be able to kind of sit on the couch and play through it sometimes. And the Steam Deck dock has been working very well for that purpose. So I've actually started to do that a little bit more.
It's like a Switch.
It is like a Switch. And the reason to do this, by the way, the reason to play on the Steam Deck, I'll just throw out there, is because the Steam Deck is the only platform that can actually like pause the game and put it down. Whereas on the PC, if you do the like save and quit option, it basically forces you to end the day that you're on right now. It doesn't like save your state and quit the game. It ends your day and quits the game. So the Steam Deck, of course, you can always push the power button and it just goes into its little sleep mode. So that is why I like to play on the Steam Deck more than on the PC. And so that's why I can dock the Steam Deck and then play it on my big TV downstairs, even though it's probably rendering at like 1280 by 800 on my 4K TV.
Doesn't seem to really matter with this game.
No, I mean, it doesn't. And you know, it's all cell shaded and it looks fine. Though actually the problem is though the Steam Deck, when you do certain things, like if you have the magnifying glass, which I know that you found, you magnify some things and they're still not clear enough because the resolution of the render is just blurry. So that's a little bit frustrating sometimes. I've got a couple of things where I think I screenshotted them and they are illegible. So I may have to like look those up or something. But I've also learned that like your screenshots, by the way, on the Steam Deck and like on your Steam for Windows, like don't sync necessarily to the Steam cloud by default. So they're like stuck on those devices, which is surprising to me.
Yeah, that is. You think? I mean, I guess you don't upload them all to your profile. You just kind of save them locally. But even that, I feel like your photo library should be synced.
I mean, this is the first time that I've intentionally taken screenshots of anything in Steam. So this is the first time I've ever cared because, whatever. You take a lot of screenshots of things you want to remember. So I've actually taken to sometimes like taking out my phone and taking a picture because I know that will sync to my iPad and my computer and everything else. But there are ways to do it. There's things you can install on your Steam Deck to like sync to Dropbox and stuff. But I don't know. I'm not that into it.
How close do you think you are to getting? I mean, do you know that you're on the last mystery or anything like that?
I don't actually think that I am on the last mystery, even though I think I should be. But I'm pretty sure that there's an entire physical location that I have seen in a hint that is in game, like an in-game hint thing. There's a physical location that I have no idea where it is or how to get there. So that is an outstanding question.
Oof.
So no, I don't know how far I am from the end.
I have heard a great way to I don't know, engage on this game is to go into a Discord, and people that have truly beaten the whole thing are really good about like poking on like, have you experienced this? Have you experienced this without giving anything away, and can start to set you in a direction to keep going. I don't know if that's something you're interested in, but like it's a nice way to get hints without spoiling, but to like control. I mean, if you search something on Google, there's no saying like, what are you going to read or what video is going to come up. So it is nice to be able to sometimes go into a Discord and actually get a human response on like that'll poke, little tidbits of information without spoiling anything.
Yeah, I definitely want something. I want almost like a Discord that's only Blueprint stuff, and then that has like a forum channel that just has threads for like, are you this far? Are you that far? Are you this far? With like good hints of like, I don't know, well crafted hints of click here if you have seen, the magnifying glass or whatever, but like, some clever way to describe that. And then they can basically make things that basically set the frontier of things that need to be spoiler tagged and not somehow. But yeah, you're right. The best way to do that is just to talk to somebody. But the problem with that is like I'm in one Discord where there is like just a single thread for a bunch of Blueprint stuff, but every single noun gets spoilered. So you have to click on every single noun and then that can spoil you. So like there's no good way to like, I don't know. It's hard to kind of engage.
You really have to have like a one-on-one conversation with someone. Like I think it really does take someone like knowing your personal journey and saying, okay, well, here's what's next for you.
Yeah. I'll get there. I think I'll get there. I haven't tried posting there yet either. So I'm not, I don't know. I gotta try. I gotta see.
It sounds like you have a path right now.
I kind of do. There are a couple of things that I'm holding in my head of like, I need to figure this out. And with a couple of things of, I don't know how I'm going to do that, which is going to be interesting to say the least. I look forward to whenever you get a chance to play this game, and then I can cast back to trying to remember how things got done. And then I can try to give you hints like that. I want to be the hint person.
Yeah. Okay. All right. You want to be the person who guides.
The hint giver, yeah. I want to feel smart.
Okay, I think I'll get there sometime. I'm inclined to try this on a handheld rather than on my computer, just to see if I have a better experience.
It plays nicely on the handheld, I'll say. Like it's fully controller supported. The only times you get in a little bit of trouble is if you do have to do things that have small text. But like I haven't hit anything that's too small.
Well, if you need help in Blueprints, you know who to go to.
That's right.
As long as you're not further than Chris.
Yes, as long as you're not farther than I am. Although, based on the people that I've talked to, I don't think anybody else is actually playing this game except for like one person. So that's unlikely that somebody's farther than I am.
Well, you know how they can play this game and what they should do? They should totally get Game Pass. I had a topic in here to talk about Game Pass. We'll talk about it again later, but Blueprints on Game Pass, Clair Obscur on Game Pass, Oblivion on Game Pass, which we haven't really talked about. There's some rumors that there's more Blizzard stuff potentially coming to Game Pass. Maybe something around the WoW space. I don't know. I've heard some rumors. So, maybe we'll be talking about it again here soon. Who knows? Again, I don't want to dig in too deep, but I've gotten a lot of value out of Game Pass lately, and my subscription is going to expire in November. I'm starting to think about that a little bit, and maybe we can have another conversation about it because, Chris, like you said, yours is expired right now. I don't know. I don't know what to do in November. So I think in an upcoming episode at some point, we're going to have a conversation about Game Pass, best deal in gaming. What do we do now that the pricing is set going forward and I have to make a decision on what to do in November? What am I going to do? So, but you can become part of the conversation and ask Chris questions about blueprints, right?
Yes.
By joining our Discord, which you can get to at discord.pnapodcast.com.
If you want to find our show notes or any of our older episodes, you can visit our website at pnapodcast.com. That's P, the letter N, the letter A, podcast.com.
If you're enjoying the show, we would love if you could share it with some others that might enjoy it as well.
Thanks for listening, everyone. We'll talk to you next time.
I feel so much better when we do our own parts.
Yeah, that's true. This was much more comfortable than last time when you made me do the whole thing.
Well, you started it, so I let you finish it.
Fair.
Chris, I have a question. I was listening to a podcast, and they were talking about subscriptions that every nerd needs.
Mm-hmm.
And the first one, not surprising to me at all. They said YouTube Premium. Worth it.
Yep.
No ads. It is like baseline YouTube experience. And I totally 100% agree.
Okay. Yeah. I'll get behind that.
Okay. The second one, I was a little surprised by. I use ChatGPT or equivalent, right? Gemini or something else, Copilot, whatever. I use ChatGPT every now and then. If I need help drafting a certain way to say something, or if I need, a little context on some topic, or if I need maybe a little script to do something in PowerShell or a language I'm not super familiar with, I've used ChatGPT before. But I would say I'm using it like maybe once a week. And I was surprised to hear that these people who I typically agree with in a lot of things had said that a ChatGPT subscription is like a requirement or a highly recommended subscription for tech nerds. And I don't know. I wasn't sure I agreed with that or didn't feel the same draw that maybe they were describing. So I'm here asking you today, and maybe anyone listening that wants to share their opinion. Do you have a ChatGPT subscription? And am I missing something? Like, what am I missing here?
I do not have a ChatGPT subscription. I do not have any AI service subscriptions. I guess maybe technically my Microsoft 365 comes with some amount of Copilot, but I do not have any personal AI subscriptions for me.
How often are you using some kind of AI something?
I use Copilot at work, so GitHub Copilot mostly. For some stuff occasionally. It is really nice to be able to, I guess they call it vibe coding now, which is really annoying because it doesn't feel like that's what I'm doing, but whatever. Basically being able to type out some comments of something that I know I want the computer to do and then have something else write me the correct syntax for it. That is handy. Sometimes it doesn't work, but it is nice to be able to kind of describe things in prose and have it generally understand what you're trying to do. It makes some things fast. It makes some things much longer, though. It makes them slower. But I say I use that probably every other week or so.
Yeah, okay. Similar to me. Like you're using it when you have something to do with it, but it's not like your first stop for everything.
Absolutely not. And that's the other thing is I was talking to somebody this past week, and we were trying to just debug some really weird kind of esoteric thing. And he sent me an error message, and I typed it into a search engine, right? A proper search engine, and looked at the, first couple of results that came back to the search engine. And I said, oh yeah, it's this, it's because of this, service or whatever, like Windows thing or whatever. And he goes back to me. He's like, yeah, that's not what the Gemini, AI stuff told me. And I was like, yeah, well, I I just did my good old fashioned Google foo, right? Just searched the thing and did a little bit of logic on the results that came back. And I managed to find a forum post on the Microsoft forums, and that was the answer. And so I was like, I think it's not there yet. Like, I don't think you could use AI for everything.
Yeah. And again, I like it for composition. Like I read a lot of emails. I read a lot of like documentation. It tends to do really well particularly I would say in isolated areas, like I need a specific paragraph on this, right? Mm-hmm. I had to write a paragraph as a part of a policy or a procedure that explained why something was important, right?
Okay.
And that's really easy. It's hey, write a paragraph on why it's important to do this thing, right? And then you maybe give a little bit more context, but like it can go and just write a paragraph. And I like it very much for that because I know in my head why something is important. I just maybe can't get it down on paper, right? I can't get it into the prose and the structure that I want. But I don't like using it for like creating full documents. I like it for creating parts of documents that I need help with. And I would say I have a use case for that, like, I don't know, once a week, once every other week, like you, or for other things. And I've never felt the need to have a subscription to ChatGPT or anything else. And I don't know. I was very surprised by the recommendation, but it sounds like you and I are kind of aligned on it. So I guess if anyone else listening has a different opinion on what am I missing or what am I missing out on and why would I need a subscription, particularly for ChatGPT, which is free, and you need a subscription to get to the front of the line. I was told, and I asked the question, like, okay, well, if there's a line, how long is the wait typically? And they were like, oh, it could be like 30 seconds to a minute. And I was like, why would I pay $20 a month for that?
The reason I can think of, and I don't know enough about it, so maybe I'm off base here, but the reason I can think of to pay for ChatGPT is I think if you don't pay for it, all of your prompts and stuff are public. And if you pay for it, you can get them to be private. Which for me, I care about, but I know that's not as much of a deal for you sometimes. But like, I think it will not. Like, you can basically say this is just for me. Basically, don't use this to train, or don't use this for I don't know. Our ChatGPT at some point did ChatGPT prompts, were they all public or something? You could like look and see what other people were asking.
I'm not aware of that, but that's possible.
I don't know. I thought but I thought when you paid, you had some more kind of fine grained control over some of the privacy stuff. So that to me is of interest.
That's interesting. I could see that. I'm pretty sure that Copilot with my work subscription is pretty private.
Yes, they have a little green shield on the thing that says like this is governed by the Microsoft Business Agreement, blah blah blah, which is how you know that it's good for work stuff.
Yeah. That's what I tend to use for work stuff is, I'm writing a Word document or whatever and I write a paragraph about. So it tends to be Copilot, but I don't know. I don't know. Someone tell me what I'm missing. Tell me why I need to spend $20 a month on this.
I think the real answer is you don't.
Okay. I mean, that's what I think, but we'll see, I guess.